Hello, check. Alright people, I believe we're live. Thank you so much for waiting. Something's really wrong with my computer because it always keeps signing me out of YouTube for some reason. And my cats, since they keep playing around over here at night, they've misplaced the pop filter of this camera. Anyway, we are live. Finally, thank you so much for waiting. If I'm audible and visible, please write here in the chat box. You know the drill. Yes, I hope the sound quality is fine. It might be a little more noisy than usual. If I'm able to locate the pop filter, then I will just put it on. Ramita is asking, can we crack JEE in 1 year with just YouTube videos? If you are dedicated enough, definitely you can do so. There are lots of people who used to do that with the help of just books. Okay, so once again people, today we are here to discuss the hybrid sprint for P block. Yeah, and I'm glad to see that there is a very nice regular viewership of this series. You know, what happens is generally lots of new people join in every day. I mean, generally in YouTube, lots of new people join for new videos, lots of old people go away from a particular series, and the viewership keeps on dropping. Generally that's what happens, but for the hybrid sprint I am seeing that the viewership is consistent. I have it makes me very happy that we have, you know, a consistent viewer base over here. So thank you so much for watching each and every class of mine, even though some are more interesting than the others. So once again, thank you so much. Or today we are here to discuss about the chapter of P block. And my dear friends, once again reminding you that how we solve inorganic chemistry over here in these hybrid sprint classes, how we discuss inorganic chemistry in these classes, this is exactly how you should practice. Okay, take up questions, try to understand all the theory behind it, keep doing it. Okay, keep solving as many questions as possible. With every question you revise some part of the theory, and if from one specific part of theory 2 or 3 questions are repeated, then that particular part of theory will be ingrained in your brain. For example, there are 3 questions today, okay, that involve the same reaction somewhere or the other. So we'll see how these patterns can be recognized in inorganic chemistry. So this is the first question of today's class. All right, upon heating, compound A gives gas B, which is a constituent of air. Constituent of air bole to, now you know options are very limited, which is good for you. Either the nitrogen or oxygen or carbon dioxide. Fine, great. This gas, when treated with H2 in the presence of a catalyst, gives another gas C. Okay, that's interesting. And that gas is basic in nature. My dear friends, the question is done. Can you see? Can you see? What are the usual suspects? What are the usual constituents of air? You have O2, or you have N2, or you have CO2. Okay. If O2 reacts with H2, it will give you water. If nitrogen reacts with hydrogen, it will give you ammonia. If carbon dioxide reacts with hydrogen, कुछ क्या ही करेगा, ठीक है. So if I compare water with ammonia, this is a neutral. Water is defined as the standard of neutrality. Yeah, NH3 is the basic gas, isn't it? So another gas C, which is basic in nature. So most likely it's going to be ammonia. And you can see there's a lot of nitrogen in your question. So that pretty much assures us, okay, that the gas B that we are talking about is nothing else but nitrogen, isn't it? है ना? बात समझ रहे हो? There is so much nitrogen in the options. Also, nitrogen when reacts with H2 gives ammonia, which is basic in nature. Very nice. Okay, fine, done. Now, my dear friends, this question says, upon heating, compound A gives nitrogen. Question says, A should not be. Basically, the question is that which of these, when heated, do not give out nitrogen gas. Okay, which of these, when heated, do not give out nitrogen gas? And these are very interesting compounds. Yeah, all of these reactions are given somewhere or the other in the NCERT. ठीक है, NCERT में कहीं ना कहीं ये सारे compounds और इनके reactions दे रखे हैं. Fine. So shall we look at the reactions now? What do you think? Shall we look at the reactions? So the very first reaction, please note them down one by one. The very first reaction is of lead nitrate. This is very important. Okay, this can come again and again. Lead nitrate's reaction or decomposition can come again and again. In NCERT, it is given in the oxides of nitrogen. In the preparation of oxides of nitrogen, okay, this is given. So what happens when we heat it up? When we heat it up, all right, when we heat it up, what you get is lead oxide. Fine, lead का oxide मिल जाएगा, plus you get nitrogen's dioxide, plus you get oxygen. As simple as that. Okay, so in the first case, nitrogen is not produced. Basically, the answer to this question is option number 1. Okay, some of you guys might recognize this question as well. JEE Main's 2020 question. JEE Main 2020 has asked very beautiful questions. So if you have not solved JEE Main's 2020 questions yet, please do so for every chapter. Now let us look at the other reactions as well. So this is the answer. Okay, now let us have a look at the other reactions. ठीक है, पहले तो ये वाला कर लेते हैं, नाइट्राइड. Okay, whenever you have a nitride, if you heat up a nitride, it's going to decompose into the metal and nitrogen gas. Yeah, alkali metal nitrides are not very stable. If you heat them up, this is exactly what you're going to get. Fine, done. Now if you have NH4NO2, very interesting compound of nitrogen. Okay, very interesting salt kind of a species that we have from nitrogen itself. Yeah, so what will be the reaction? Can you guess what will be the reaction? Of course you are getting nitrogen from it, that's why, you know, of course you're getting nitrogen from it, that's why it's not the answer. Apart from nitrogen, what will you get? N2 के बाद क्या बचता है? Water. Can you see? Nitrogen and 2 molecules of water will be formed. Pretty obvious a reaction. Okay, if you look at it. And then you've got NH42CrO7. Again, of course, nitrogen will be produced. अच्छा, nitrogen यहाँ से निकाल दिया. What else is remaining? There is some compound of chromium, some compound of hydrogen and oxygen that will be made. What do you think? The compound of hydrogen and oxygen is obvious. That's going to be water. What about the compound of chromium? What about the compound of chromium? क्या बनेगा? Cr2O3. So these are the reactions, my dear friends. These are all given in the NCERT somewhere or the other. Now that is the sad part about P block or inorganic chemistry, that these reactions are given in the NCERT, but they are not given in one place. Okay, there is some random table with some random structures, and in those structures there's one reaction written somewhere in the middle. So it's very important that if you are reading the NCERT, you study it very carefully. Is that possible all the time? Definitely not. We are humans, not robots. We can't just remember everything in one go. So the better way to do these things is just go through NCERT once and then start solving as many questions as possible. Solve the NCERT's textbook questions, solve the NCERT's examples, solve all previous year questions that you can get for S block, P block and D block chapters. Okay, solve JEE advanced level questions as well, solve NEET questions as well. So many inorganic chemistry questions. Of course, these reactions are bound to be repeated somewhere or the other. That's how you're supposed to study inorganic chemistry. Okay? Shri Varun is asking, what are you teaching? Shri Varun, I am teaching you how to dance on the periodic table. Okay, so when you take the periodic table, there is a way to dance on it. Okay, you see boxes. That's what I'm teaching. If you are a little doubtful of that, please check out the title of this video. Okay, YouTube has a very interesting feature. Okay, I'll tell you guys who don't know, YouTube has a very interesting feature called the title of the video. It was one of the first features that YouTube released when it started. Try to check that. Might give you some interesting ideas. Chalo ji, ho gaya? Done. So please make a note of these reactions. If you need more time over here, please pause. We shall move on. Chalo ji. Ye the reactions. Now, aqua regia. Everyone knows what is aqua regia. People, what is aqua regia? क्या होता है aqua regia? बताओ. So both is asking, what's the best chapter to start chemistry with? Atomic structure. Amario, what's up, man? Kavish is asking what's the weightage of this chapter in JEE Mains. 1 to 2 questions every year. At least 2, I mean, more often than not 2 questions, but at least 1 question will be asked. Okay. Shri Ram is asking, will you cover entire P block in one class? We'll just do as many questions as possible in today's class. To do entirety of inorganic chemistry even in 1 year is very difficult. So we're just trying to do as many questions as possible. Okay. Surya, yes, these are previous year questions. Chalo, batao. What is aqua regia? Aqua regia is 1 part of HNO3 and how many parts of HCl? Yeah. The ratio is very important. I can see a lot of people are saying HCl and HNO3, but what is the ratio in which these are taken? 1:3. Someone is saying 1:3 of HNO3 and H2SO4. No, H2SO4 नहीं होता, HCl होता दोस्त. Okay, HNO3 and HCl and 1:3 ratio. Shubhada, very nice. Shubhada was the first person to give the proper correct answer. Very good job. Aqua regia is basically 1 part HNO3 in 3 parts of HCl, and it is such a strong mixture of acids that it ends up reacting. It ends up ionizing the noblest of metals. It can react with gold, it can react with platinum, etc., etc., right? So now this reaction, okay, aqua regia's reaction is given in the properties of HCl. Okay, so aqua regia's reaction is given in the properties of hydrochloric acid in NCRT. I'm just telling that to you in case you want to refer to that in यहाँ लिख भी देता हूँ, in NCRT. It's given in the properties of HCl. Okay, there are 2 reactions given under the properties of HCl in the NCRT, and those are the reactions of gold and platinum with aqua regia. Now the interesting thing is that the reaction that NCRT mentions is actually correct, but the reactions that you will find on the internet are not correct. Okay, if you try to find a reaction of aqua regia with these metals, the products that they form, most of the times they're not correct. Okay, so please follow the NCRT on that. Let me show you the reaction, okay, that happens over here. Let me try to write the reaction that happens over here. Okay, overall ऊपर से reaction बता देता हूँ मैं. So basically you've got, let's say, gold and you've got HNO3 and you've got HCl. I'm not balancing the reaction right now. Of course, this is 1 part, this is 3 parts, but I'm not balancing the reaction right now. Okay, so what you get over here is basically a compound that's very interesting. Okay, you get aurum, that is gold, bonded with chlorine. Okay, so you get gold bonded with chlorine 4. Okay, over here this entire structure has a negative charge. Basically gold over here is in its +3 oxidation state. You should remember this. It turns gold into its +3 oxidation state. Okay, so how do you find it in the reaction mixture? It will be something like this. Okay, HAuCl4. This is the main component. The metal is now dissolved. Fine. This is how you dissolve the metal. You basically turn it into an ionic compound, which of course dissolves in water. Then comes water, of course. Pani to banegi, isn't it? I'm pretty sure you realize that there will be water. And then comes our answer. The answer is nitric oxide, NO. ठीक है जी? Option number 3 is the correct answer. So please remember, in a lot of places, nitrogen's dioxide is given in the reaction of aqua regia. In NCRT, it says that nitric oxide is what is produced, and this is a more accurate source of information. ठीक है जी? Got it? Done? चलेगा? Nitric oxide. Fine. Done. Chandri Ramurthy is saying, why is it called aqua regia? Can anyone tell in the chat box? If there is a reason behind the name? कुछ तो बड़ा interesting सा reason था. I don't remember what the reason is. If any one of you can enlighten. It was something that they used to tell in general knowledge in 6th, 7th class, that aqua regia dissolves gold and everyone was like, oh, we'll steal gold. Yeah. Bhuvaneshwari, what did you not understand? Can you tell me? Nikshita is saying, sir, can you please clear the doubts about JEE's portion? That is getting quite confusing. Point is, prepare everything. Okay, prepare whatever are your strengths, whatever you want to leave, it's your decision. But they are saying that in the examination they will give internal choices. Okay, so if you have a question which is out of syllabus, there will be a choice with a choice next to it which is from the reduced syllabus. That is what they're saying. Now, how accurate will that be in the examination? No one knows. Yeah, so prepare the best you can. Don't worry about the reduced syllabus at all. That's my suggestion to you. Okay. Okay, Samarth is saying because it is known as royal water, aqua regia means water and regia means royal. Okay, so royal water dissolves gold. Interesting. Anyway, you can try to figure out the reaction with platinum as well. It's going to give you pretty much the same type of products. Let's move on. This is the reaction that I showed you. Now, if the boiling point of H2O is 373 Kelvin, look how they formed the question. See, sometimes the people who set these examinations, I don't know what they're eating. But look at how they framed this question. Okay, if the boiling point of H2O is 373 Kelvin, okay, if the boiling point of H2S will be, बताओ दोस्तों, अगर पानी 100 डिग्री पे बॉयल होता तो क्या होता? Can you tell me? This is a pretty easy question. Yeah, think about hydrogen bonding. I've given you the answer now. Tell me the answer quickly. फटाफट से बताओ. Yeah, she's saying I have prepared whole syllabus. That is great. Brilliant. That will definitely help you in the examination. How much question of chemistry should we solve every day? Sorry for the random noise. I live right next to a highway. There's so much going on outside. Sneha, there is no specific number that I would recommend. Just try to do as much as you can. Of course, if you're trying to see, every person is different. Okay. For example, my inorganic chemistry is very bad. Okay, I'm being very honest with you. I'm trying to teach it still as best as I can, but my inorganic chemistry is bad compared to organic and physical. So I would do organic chemistry's questions very fast, so I can do 200 questions in a day if I'm doing only organic chemistry. But if I'm doing inorganic, maybe I'm able to do 150. If I'm doing physical, maybe I'm able to do only 100 because of the calculations that are involved. So these are just random numbers I'm throwing at you. Okay, don't take them seriously. Depends on individual capacity. Try to do as much as you can. Okay. Kavish, just watch the Let's Revit series of this channel. We've revised all the chapters of organic. Badhiya. बताओ क्या होना चाहिए यहाँ पे? See, I can't say anything about greater than or less than, isn't it? How will I decide whether it is greater than 300 Kelvin or less than some? The only thing that I can say it is will be less than. Yeah, less than 373 तो पक्का है ना? Less than 373 तो पक्का है. Will it be more than 373? Will it be equal to 373? Will it be less than 300 Kelvin? Or will it be greater than 300 but less than 373 Kelvin? Now, how do we decide between the first two options? How do we decide between the first two options? Ayush is saying why less? See, less to hoga from compared to 373 Kelvin, the boiling point of H2S will be lesser. Why? Because see, hydrogen bonding happens in water. Hydrogen bonding is possible whenever oxygen is bonded to hydrogen or nitrogen is bonded to hydrogen or fluorine is bonded to hydrogen. These are the cases in which hydrogen bonding is possible because the electronegative element is quite electronegative, and of course hydrogen gets a partial positive character. So this partial negative and partial positive character sort of attracts. That is why water has a significantly high boiling point. Now if we talk about H2S, we do not see hydrogen bonding over there. Okay, H2S में कोई हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग नहीं होती. अब क्या करें? What do we do now? See, this boils down to the idea that it is a fact. It boils down to the idea that it is a fact. As I told you in the beginning of this question, I don't know what they were eating. before framing this question. They can simply ask, what is the boiling point of H2S? Okay, there's no more logic behind this question. You can't predict how less it's going to be from 373 Kelvin. Do you understand? It's going to be an experimentally determined observation. Hydrogen bonding doesn't mean that, okay, now hydrogen bonding, so 150 degree Kelvin more. That's not true, right? Hydrogen bonding in different species is different. So what is the extent of hydrogen bonding in water? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? There's no way to predict how less the boiling point of H2S is going to be. So this question is as good as asking, what is the boiling point of H2S? Yeah. So I'll give you a fact. The boiling point of H2S is equal to, okay, that's just a fact, man. Even I googled it a few hours back. मैंने भी गूगल करके ही देखा है. Okay, so sometimes when these questions come, you just can't really do anything. So option number 2 becomes the correct answer. Got it? So it's as good as a fact. If you remember the boiling point of H2S, great. If you don't, but you know, there is one way in which you could have solved this question correctly. Ek baat batao. Someone is saying it's there in the NCERT. Of course it's there in the NCERT. Yeah, but there is one way in which you could have come to the correct answer logically as well. Okay, what is that? This is something that you've studied in your 6th, 7th class, I'm pretty sure. Remember? Do you remember this? Hey, yaad hai kisi ko? Yes, Gokul, exactly. Arjun, absolutely. It's a gas at room temperature. See, all of us have studied somewhere or the other that H2S gas is a smelly gas with a smell of rotten eggs. In laboratory as well, in some reactions you might have used this gas. You must have read it somewhere. We know that H2S is a gas at room temperature. So of course, even at 273 Kelvin, I mean, let's say 298 Kelvin, chalo, room temperature laga lo 298 Kelvin, even at 298 Kelvin, this has boiled already. It's a gas. What is a gas? Gas is something that has already boiled. Yeah, you're breathing boiled oxygen right now. Sounds weird, but that is true. Okay, so at 298 Kelvin, the gas is already, I mean, H2S is already a gas. It has already boiled. So of course the answer will be option number 2. So that is what you need to do in the examination. You need to keep your mind open. Okay, because your logical, I mean, your calculative brain will say there is no way to predict it. But then there is another creative side of the brain which remembers that you had studied about H2S somewhere in class 6th, class 7th, and then you can easily solve this question. Okay, so it's all about being calm in the examination, trying to use your brain as much as possible. Nice, interesting question. This one was your homework, people. Yeah, this was homework from the previous class, if you remember. So with respect to beryllium, so beryllium is something that does not really react with nitric acid. Its reaction with nitric acid is very slow. Some scientists say that it does not react with nitric acid at all. It forms Be2C, that's true. Beryllium carbide is the name of this compound. Its hydride is electron deficient and polymeric. Yeah, इसका वो ऐसा bond भी बना देते हैं अपन, right? So yes, it is deficit and polymeric. It can form multiple bonds with itself. Electron deficit hai, that is true. And its halides can catalyze ES reactions. Yeah, something like BeCl2. Again, incomplete octet compound. Yeah, so this acts as a Lewis acid. And for those of you who are acquainted with electrophilic aromatic substitution reactions, you need a Lewis acid to start that reaction. Yeah, you need a Lewis acid so that, if you have a halogen like this is what can happen, and the benzene ring will be able to attack this particular chlorine. That's how electrophilic aromatic substitutions start. So BCD is the correct answer for this particular question. Kafi simple sa hai. Now let me look at the answers that you guys have given me in the previous class. Let me see the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Just give me one moment. Opening up the previous class. Open up the wrong class. Just a second. Arey bhai. Just give me a moment, people. Today I don't think YouTube is in the mood to cooperate with me. It signed me out earlier. Now it's not opening the video. पता नहीं क्या हो गया आज YouTube को. गुस्सा है मेरे से YouTube. Anyway, let's. Yep, here it is. Okay, so this is the video, S block quick revision. If you have missed that, please make sure you watch it. It was a very nice class that we had. काफी interesting class हो गया था. This was one of those times where I actually enjoyed discussing inorganic chemistry. Okay, so Murli, D will also be correct. I think you're in 11th class, so maybe you don't know about ES right now. It's fine. Sundari Ramamurthy, very good. Rainer, Samarth, and Geetansha, very good job. Dushyant, A is not a correct answer, sorry. Meghna, wrong. Kaushik, yes, that's correct. Saurabh, that is correct. Right sequence of organic chemistry in 11th and 12th. Bhavin, if you are here in the chat box today, please wait till the end of the class and remind me. I will tell you. Okay, Bhavin, yes, correct answer. Nikshita, you forgot option number C. Bhardwaj again forgot one option. Karthik, correct. Savan, correct. Surya, correct. Rohit, very nice. Rishi, good job. Okay, so a lot of you gave me the correct answer, but a few of you missed one option or the other. Anyway, doesn't matter. If you're able to solve it correctly entirely, good job. Chalo ji, let's go to the next question, which is again from P block. This is the kind of question I still like. Okay, if a question is directly from reactions, I'm not really a fan of them. But if this is the kind of question that comes, I enjoy it because structures are still something that you can visualize and try to memorize. Yeah. So if in a molecule of pyrophosphoric acid, the number of POH, P double bond O and POP bonds / moieties respectively are. What is a moiety? I'll try to explain it to you. It's a chemistry word, moiety. So if there is a compound like this, let's say, yeah, and let's say something like this. So my dear friends, this particular part is the acid moiety. Okay, moiety is basically one of the components which can be given a certain name. Okay, so इसको हम नाम दे सकते हैं, like say that this is the acid moiety, this is the alcohol moiety, yeah, this is the aromatic moiety, something like that. Okay, so basically what they're asking you over here, even if you don't know the meaning of the word moiety, it's fine. So POH, P double bond O and POP bond. So what is pyrophosphoric acid? ठीक है जी, fine. This is your pyrophosphoric acid. Now, oxy acids of phosphorus, they are given in the NCERT. All the acids of phosphorus are given in the NCERT. All the structures are given in the NCERT. So please make sure you have a look at it. मैं यहाँ पे एक बस reminder डाल देता हूँ. I'm giving you a reminder. Please check it out. Oxo acids of phosphorus. Just remember their structures, because I've seen every year in at least one of the shifts or two of the shifts, this type of a question comes. ये आ ही जाता है. Okay, no matter what you do, in one or two shifts, you will get a question from oxy acids of phosphorus. So what's going on over here? How many POH bonds do we have? 4 POH bonds. How many P double O bonds do we have? 2. And how many POP bonds we have? 1. Option number 4 is the correct answer. Okay? So it's just about remembering the structure. If you don't remember the structure, please move on. Okay? Don't try to do pointless guesswork in this question. It's better not to have negative marking. So if you remember the structure, attempt it. If you don't remember the structure, just leave the question. Okay? Fine. Shruti, I'm glad you enjoyed the organic chemistry playlists. Great. Balakishore, what is your score in JEE? I haven't given JEE in the last 10 years, bro. I don't remember my score from 2011. I can tell you my JEE Advanced rank was All India General Category 3410, 3410 rank. Okay. Others is saying any trick to remember them? Try to draw them. Draw करके अपनी दीवार पे चिपका दो. Look at that every day. That will help you remember these structures. ठीक है जी. Chalo, just a second. And now I'm gonna move on to the next question. Why do I have a blank page over here? Yeah, cool. On heating, lead to nitrate gives a brown gas. अब फिर वही question आ गया देखो. If you joined from the beginning, I told you that there are a lot of reactions that get repeated again and again when you solve multiple questions. And if one concept gets repeated in, let's say, 2 or 3 questions, of course you will remember that concept. Of course you will remember that reaction. Do you remember? If you are watching from the beginning, on heating lead to nitrate gives a brown gas A. We've done this reaction in the first question. Yeah. पहला रिएक्शन यही किया था अपन ने. लेड नाइट्रेट उठाया था, PbNO3 है ना, होल ट्वाइस, एंड वी हैड हीटेड इट एंड यू गॉट, क्या मिला था बताओ? या वी हैड हीटेड इट अप, वी गॉट लेड ऑक्साइड प्लस वी गॉट, क्या मिला था बताओ? व्हाट डिड वी गेट? NO2 मिला था. काफी ऑब्वियस सा नहीं है यार रिएक्शन. या प्लस यू गेट सम ऑक्सीजन एज वेल. There's a reaction mentioned in the NCRT. Okay, under the preparation of NO2, this is a reaction. Okay, ठीक है. NCRT में there is a table of oxides of nitrogen. Over there under NO2 this reaction is given. ठीक है. This is your brown gas. So now what has happened is, now you will remember this reaction. We have solved it twice in one class. I have highlighted it quite significantly. So now you will remember this reaction. Also keep in mind that NO2 is a brown colored gas. Okay. Now the gas on cooling changes to a colorless solid / liquid B. ठीक है. तो हमने क्या किया? NO2 को ठंडा कर दिया. Cool it down, people. Yeah. Now it turns into a solid. ये solid क्या है भैया? जी. What is this solid? See, when you cool things down, this is something that you can remember. When you cool things down, they want to come close to each other. That's how solids are formed, right? So whenever you're cooling things down, they tend to come closer to each other. They will either become solids or they will dimerize. Okay, so what you get out of it is basically N2O4. That is a colorless solid / liquid. It's a very, it easily converts into liquid, but it's a solid at room temperatures. ठीक है. And normal temperature it easily turns into liquids. But थोड़ा सा भी ठंडा करोगे, if you cool it just slightly, turns into a solid. Okay. Now this gas N2O4, this solid N2O4, when you heat it with NO, okay, okay, I think it should be working now. Just waiting to check if everything is fine or not. Yeah, I guess I am live back again. There was something wrong with the Wi-Fi. This is the first time it has happened to the Wi-Fi. But yeah, we're back. Yeah, nice. If we're back, then right. Yeah, okay, fine. I can see we're back. Okay. We were at 200 plus viewers and now we're down to 84. आज ही होना था ये. पता नहीं आज क्या हो गया. I don't know what is happening today. YouTube and the Wi-Fi, everything is going against me today. I don't know why. Oh. Anyway, let's wait for a little more viewership. Okay, 100 viewers. Fine. So let's let's get into this question once again. Okay, so what I was saying is when you cool down NO2, it turns into a dimer. Basically, it's a solid, yeah, dimerizes. So this is your brown gas, this is your colorless solid or liquid. And I was trying to tell you that whenever you're reading books on inorganic chemistry, whenever you're trying to solve questions from the NCERT, let's say, whenever you read something that has a color, okay, whenever you study something like blue solid or brown gas, then it definitely will come in the examination. Okay, whenever they mention colors in the books, they want to ask questions on it. Okay, ठीक है, तो जहाँ भी color आता है ना, especially in inorganic chemistry, you have to keep that in your mind. So N2O4 plus NO gives you a blue solid. ठीक है जी. So what is this blue solid? Can you guys tell me what is this blue solid? फटाफट से बताओ दोस्तों. What is this blue solid? Yeah. So this blue solid is basically N2O3. Okay. So this is your blue solid. And I have seen this question comes again and again. Okay, I've seen that this question comes again and again. I won't be surprised if they ask it again this year. Okay, so N2O3 is your blue solid. Please make sure you remember this. Let me show you where all of this is in the NCERT. Okay, if you haven't studied that book, just give me one moment. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly where it is in the NCERT. Trying to open the PDF of that. ये सारा कुछ एक ही जगह दे रखा है. And I'll try to tell you about the, mindset of someone who sets the examination. There we go. Can you see this? Yeah. Very nice PDF of NCERT, downloaded from the government website, ncert.nic.in. Yeah. These are the reactions that we've been doing. This is the reaction that we did. Yeah. This is the reaction that we just saw. This is the reaction that we just saw. है ना? यहाँ पे सब कुछ दे रखा है. There are structures etc. given as well. Very nice, very interesting. Cool. ये brown gas. NO2 is a brown gas. ये भी यहीं दे रखा है. Nitrogen dioxide. Fine. So the thing is that when someone is setting the examination, they will have this table opened in front of them. So for one shift, they will make one question from one of these reactions, for the other shift from some other reaction, from the other shift from other reaction, but from the same table. Yeah, do you understand what I'm trying to say? So whenever you're studying something like this, which has a lot of information in a small space, there's a lot of probability of a question being asked from that particular area. Because just from this table, I can form, let's say, 10 questions. My job is done, yeah? For every shift, I have formed one question. So do you understand? Whenever you see some piece of information like this consolidated in one place, make sure you study it well. चलो जी, इसको अच्छे से पढ़ लेना तो सही रहेगा. Fine. चलो जी, this is done. Now let's move on to the next question. These were the reactions which we just saw. Nice question. Okay, I like this question. There's some logic that you can use over here to solve the question. The reaction in which the hybridization of the underlined atom is affected is. You have to figure out the reaction in which the hybridization of the underlined atom is affected. कौन सा भैया? NH3 plus H positive will give you NH4 positive. This is sp3. This is still sp3. Of course, not the answer. Okay. H2SO4 plus NaCl. Salt. ये क्या है? Acid plus salt reaction. Whatever happens to SO4, Na2SO4 बनेगा, HCl बनेगा, whatever you form. Okay. Sulfate ion is going to be the sulfate ion. Okay. Sulfate ion's structure is not going to change in this reaction. This is just, displacement kind of a reaction. So over here, of course, the, hybridization of sulfur is not going to change. Okay. H3PO2's disproportionation is interesting. H3PO2's disproportionation. See, phosphorus. Okay, where is phosphorus? Under nitrogen. So phosphorus has a tendency to always be in the sp3 hybrid state. Okay, you make all the acids of phosphorus. They are, phosphorus is tetrahedral. Okay, you make any oxyacid of phosphorus, you take any compound of phosphorus, 99% of the times it will be tetrahedral in structure. Okay, H3PO2 पे देख लो चाहे, you look at any structure, okay, phosphorus is going to be tetrahedral in nature. So when you disproportionate it, okay, it turns into PH3 plus H3PO3. Again, both cases phosphorus is tetrahedral, the hybridization is not changing, sp3 hybridization. So the only thing that you're remaining with is XCF4 plus SbF5. Okay, xenon plus antimonese fluoride. That is where the hybridization is going to change. All right. ठीक है जी, fine. Are we good? Do you want me to write the reaction for you? Basically, it's just a fluoride transfer, okay? XCF4 or SbF5 में there is just a fluoride transfer. So what happens is you have XCF4. One of the fluorides from here, one F negative, will go away. So one F negative is going away. This will turn into a positively charged species, okay? And antimony will accept one more fluorine. This becomes SbF6 negative. So over here, xenon's hybridization has changed. Okay, do you want to figure out what is the hybridization of xenon? Xenon in XCF4. Xenon is a noble gas. Okay, how many valence electrons does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of these 8 valence electrons, you have given 4 to fluorine. Yeah, so what is the steric number over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Steric number over here is 6, sp3d2. है ना, यही हो जाएगी hybridization. Fine. Now, when I am talking about what is steric number? Steric number is basically lone pairs plus bond pairs. Okay, so 1, 2 lone pairs plus 1, 2, 3, 4 bond pairs, that is 6. Now, when we come to XCF3 positive, xenon had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 valence electrons. Now, you removed one valence electron because of the positive charge. है ना, बाकी 3 दे दो fluorine पे. What is the steric number now? Yeah, I removed one electron because of the positive charge. Yeah, xenon had 8 valence electrons, you remove one because of the positive charge. So now steric number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. sp3d. Hybridization has changed. Alright. If you don't understand what I'm doing over here, we have done this in the chemical bonding hybrid sprint. Okay, how to figure out hybridization quickly. This is just a quick way of figuring out hybridization by ascertaining what is the steric number. Okay, ठीक है, तो please make sure you check that idea out. So let's go to the next question now. The structure of PCl5 in the solid state is, every year this question has to come. Every single year this question has to come. Okay, if you are fortunate enough, they will come in your shift. So PCl5 in solid state, it's a very common knowledge. Okay, PCl5 exists as PCl4 and PCl6. Okay, PCl4 positive and PCl6 negative. This is how it exists in the solid state. Now you have to figure out whether it is square planar or tetrahedral. Octahedral, ये तो octahedral ही है. Okay, this is octahedral, there is no doubt about it. You have to figure out whether this is square planar or is it tetrahedral. What do you think? Phosphorus क्या होना चाहिए? Just told you in the last slide, phosphorus 99.9% of the times is tetrahedral. You want to figure it out? Okay, do that. Phosphorus, nitrogen family, how many valence electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 valence electrons. But it has a positive charge. Remove one of the valence electrons. This gives it a positive charge. Now 4 chlorines. Chlorine wants to make single bond, so it will take 1 electron from phosphorus. Steric number is equal to 4. Hybridization is sp3. Tetrahedral structure. Option number 2 is the correct answer. ठीक है जी, बढ़िया, done. Okay. Chundri Ramamurthy, what happened to the previous question? Was it buffering again? I hope not. Is there a doubt in the previous question? Xenon's hybridization is changing. This was the reaction. Okay, fine, cool. Chalo, let's move on to the next question now. we've already lost a bunch of time. चलो ये करते हैं. Reaction of ammonia with excess of chlorine gives what? Standard factual reaction, okay? You can see it in the properties of ammonia. NH3 plus Cl2 in excess will give you NCl3 plus NH4Cl. Is it right? Sorry, एक चीज गलत कर दी मैंने. Not NH4Cl. You will simply get HCl. This is the correct reaction. ठीक है जी. Now NCl3 over here, this is an interesting species. It's essentially explosive in nature. Yeah, nitrogen and chlorine bonded with each other in a very interesting fashion. This is an explosive in nature. So the answer to this question is option number 4. Standard reaction given in the properties of ammonia, if you want to check it out. ठीक है? Okay. I don't know, something is wrong with the Wi-Fi today. Yeah. Someone was asking me about nitrogen's pentavalency. Nitrogen doesn't have any d orbitals, so it can't have more than 8 electrons in its valence shell. It can't be pentavalent because of that reason. Okay. हाँ यार, आज पता नहीं वाईफाई को कुछ हो गया है. This is the very first time my Wi-Fi is misbehaving. I don't know what's going on today. ठीक है. Sadhana, okay, Sadhana Shukla is saying, what is the cause of this explosiveness? See, the thing is, you can give it secondary reasons. The main idea is that the compound is very unstable. Okay, nitrogen is electronegative, chlorine is electronegative. They want electrons for their own selves. The compound is very unstable, it explodes easily. Okay, explosiveness means unstable nature. Why is it unstable? You can explain it on the basis of electronegativity. But again, these reasons are secondary. Explosiveness of this compound is something that we observe. That's a fact. I hope you understand. Okay. Tushar, I have Airtel fiber. Tushar is saying, so switch to Airtel fiber. I have Airtel fiber, man. In the last 8-9 months that I've had it, I've never had a problem. This is the first time it's giving me a problem. I don't know why that is so, but okay. Some days are not good. Okay, the correct statement with respect to dinitrogen is, again, factual questions, people. Yeah, again, factual questions. So this is something that you have to read. This is something that you have to read about in the NCERT when they talk about the properties of N2 gas. Okay. Liquid nitrogen is not used in cryosurgery. Cryosurgery is basically, okay, I'll try to explain each and every point to you. Cryosurgery, whenever the word cryo comes into picture, okay, cryoscopic or क्या कहता है इसको, cryogenic, cryoscopic, cryosurgery, basically it means that we are talking about very low temperatures. There's a very interesting term in science fiction. It's called cryogenic suspension. What it means is, theoretically, you can freeze a body, okay, freeze an animal body or a human body to very low temperatures and keep it for as long as you want, maybe 100 years, maybe 1000 years. After that, if you bring it to normal temperature, it will function again. Okay, again, that is just science fiction right now. Scientists are trying to make that work. So cryo basically means very low temperature, cold jo ho. Liquid nitrogen is not used. Of course it is used in cryosurgery. Liquid nitrogen is the standard which is used in laboratories to maintain low temperatures. Okay, the liquid nitrogen is something that is used everywhere to maintain low temperatures, be it reactions, be it surgeries. So yeah, liquid dinitrogen is actually used in cryosurgery. This statement is wrong. It can be used as an inert diluent for reactive chemicals. Yes, it can be. I'll just give you a very simple idea. What is there in potato chips? In potato chips, there is a lot of carbohydrate, there is a lot of fat. Yeah, that fat, that oil, and that carbohydrate can easily react with the oxygen, in the atmosphere. So what they do is they fill packets with nitrogen. nitrogen acts as an inert diluent. ठीक है, so this statement is actually true. The answer to this question is option number 2. Okay, diluent means you dilute it. I get the idea, I'm pretty sure. It can combine with it can combine with dioxygen at 25 degrees Celsius. Definitely not. If this was true, then we wouldn't have the atmosphere as we know it. N2 is paramagnetic in nature? Definitely not. It's diamagnetic in nature. We study that in molecular orbital theory all the time. Only statement 2 is correct. So easy question, nice, interesting facts that are given to you. ठीक है, तुषार, no. First statement, third statement and fourth statement are wrong. Only second statement is correct. That is what you have to choose. Okay, done. Tarun, yes, solid state is in the syllabus, bro. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Number of ClO bonds in perchloric acid is, बताओ, what is perchloric acid? है जी, simple question. If you know what is perchloric acid, if you don't know what is perchloric acid, then forget about it. Yeah, अगर पता ही नहीं है तो क्या कर सकते हैं ना भैया. So perchloric acid is basically HClO4. Cl will have an OH group, rest of it will be double bond O. Got it? C double bond O are, I mean Cl double bond O are 3. Okay? 1, 2 and 3. Perchloric acid HClO4. With this, I will remind you, please study about the oxy acids of chlorine. Okay, HClO3, HClO2, HOCl. Please study about the properties and structures of oxy acids of chlorine. It's an entire segment that is given in the NCERT. As I told you, if there is a segment on something, then questions are more likely to be asked from there, because one person who's setting the examination can set multiple questions from there. So please make sure whenever there is a set of information like there is for oxy acids of chlorine, make sure you study it well. Okay, chalo. The reaction of NO with N2O4 at 250 Kelvin gives, we just saw this reaction, isn't it? Just a few slides back we saw this reaction. This has come in mains 2020. The earlier question was also in mains 2020. So as I told you, whenever there is a segment, questions are repeated from there. Okay? Batao, what is the answer? Fatavat se batao. I am gonna look at the chat box and then see how many of you are giving me the correct answer. अभी तो देखा यार ये. Just saw. है ना? N2O3 बन जाएगा. My dear friends, what is the color of this? We just solved this question when everything started buffering. Okay, we solved this question. What is the color of this compound? Yeah, this is a solid compound. What is the color? Tell me. फटाफट से बताओ. Sir, I was asking the question of NO. We have to find the oxidation. Sorry, Sundari Ramurthy, I didn't follow your question. I'm very sorry. Yeah, very nice people. The color is blue. Okay. Please remember this now. It's a solid that is blue in color. It forms from the reaction of N2O4 with nitric oxide. This is a colorless solid. This is NO. ठीक है? चलो, हो गया? Fine. Let's move on now to the next question. Reaction of an inorganic sulfite X with dilute H2SO4 generates compound Y. Reaction of Y with NaOH gives X. Okay. ठीक है, तो एक सल्फाइट लिया अपन ने. Okay, sorry. So when that sulfite reacted with H2SO4, it generated Y. So this reaction with acid gives Y. Y's reaction with base once again gives X. Interesting. Compound plus acid Y, compound plus base X. Nice relationship between them. Great. Further, the reaction of X with Y and water. Okay, so you're taking X and whatever you form out of it after the acidification and water gives you compound Z. What are Y and Z respectively? Ashok, yes, it is for JEE. Of course it is for JEE man. Please read the title. तो बताओ जी क्या होना चाहिए यहाँ पे? what should be the answer over here? Dun, 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 dun. आया किसी के दिमाग में कुछ? You have to give y and z, not x. So थोड़ा tricky है ये question. Okay, if you know the reaction scheme, then it is fine. But otherwise, this reaction is a little tricky. Okay, if you know the reactions, then it is fine. Otherwise, it is a little tricky. So you have an inorganic sulfite. You don't have a sulfate. You don't have an SO4. You have a sulfite. What is sulfite? Sulfite is SO3. Okay, sulfate is SO4, sulfite is SO3. So you basically have an inorganic sulfite. Okay, let's try Na2SO3. Since you have sodium in one of the products, I think this is a good starting material. Okay, how did I come to this conclusion? Sulfite is SO3. You have to balance it with some cation. What is the cation that is given in the answer? Sodium. So if I begin with Na2SO3, I think I can move the reaction forward. So what happens when you react the sulfite with H2SO4? It generates a compound Y. ठीक है जी? Okay. It generates a compound Y. So my dear friends, when you combine SO2 with NaOH, okay, it's once again going to give you Na2SO3. ठीक है जी? Fine. This is what happens. Now, when Na2SO3, so this is your X, this was your Y, the SO2 gas was Y. We are just talking about the main components over here which are asked. I am not doing the total reactions. Okay, total reactions are very long. There are other side products as well. I am just showing you the main products. If you want me to show the full reactions, I will do that in a while after solving the question. Okay, so Na2SO3 ko liya apan ne, and we reacted once again with SO2 and with some water. I think the answer is pretty clear now. So just by looking at the options, looking at what's going on, if this is X, then it can't be Z, है ना? If this is X, then this can't be Z. So you've automatically eliminated this. You've automatically eliminated this, है ना? So you have two options now. Then you can make a logical guess that okay, SO2 is what forms because you have to make a sulfite after a reaction with NaOH. Okay, ठीक है? So when you combine this together, the main component that you will get is NaHSO3. Fine. So option number 2 is the correct answer. ठीक है जी? Fine. You can note down the scheme of reactions basically. Okay, so hota kya hai, in the first case as well, there is a water molecule that will be formed as a side product. In SO2 plus NaOH as well, there will be a water molecule that is formed as a side product, and in this particular reaction you simply get 2 times NaHSO3. Okay, so thoda ajeeb sa reaction hai. It's a little tricky. If you remember the reaction, great. If you don't remember the reaction, just forget about it. Properties of sulfur mein aa jayega ye. Okay, Ayushi saying, how do we know if an atom has vacant p orbitals? Ayushi, just write the electronic configuration of it and figure it out. BHR, bro, this is YouTube, not Tinder. Thank you so much. Bye bye. किसी और ही दिशा में ले जाते हैं लोग chat box को. Anyway, people, so this is a little tricky. If you know the reactions, great, but you could again, try to do some logical ideas over here that, Na2SO3 won't be the answer, so you eliminate these two options. Then if you combine SO3 with NaOH, you are more likely to get a sulfate, but you want a sulfite, so this can't be the answer. So that can help you get to option number 2 as the answer, but again, I agree, it's a little trickier question. Chalo, let's go to the next question. The number of SO bonds in S2O8 2 negative and the number of SS bonds in rhombic sulfur are respectively. Nice question. You can always try to focus on remembering structures. Rhombic sulfur, remember that crown-like structure? Yeah, remember that crown-like structure? यही होता है? हाँ, यही होता है. Fine. So this is the crown-like structure that you have for rhombic sulfur. All these black dots are sulfur atoms. Okay, these black dots are sulfur atoms. So you can figure out how many bonds we have between the SS in rhombic sulfur. So you have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. ठीक है, तो ये तो आ गया. यहाँ पे आंसर will be 8. Now comes the idea of the structure of S2O8 2 negative. What is this S2O8 2 negative? ये क्या घटिया structure है, अब बताओ. Does anyone remember the structure of S2O8 2 negative? See, S2O8 negative, very interesting. You have two sulfurs, of course. Okay, there is a 2 negative charge, so there are going to be 2 O negatives. 2 negative charge that is going to be carried by O negatives. So how many oxygens are we remaining now? 6 oxygens are remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4 oxygens over here. 2 more oxygens remaining. There is actually a very interesting peroxy link in this structure. Okay? Did you understand how I drew it? I drew 2 sulfurs. Then I made an O negative on both sulfurs. Okay? Then I made double bond O's on sulfurs. Then I had to make one linkage between these sulfurs, and that happens to be a peroxy linkage over here because of the number of oxygens. Do you realize that one entity of sulfur is very similar to the sulfate ion? Yeah. So whenever you're dealing with sulfur, always think about the sulfate ion as the base. That will help you draw more structures. Okay? Sulfate ion more often than not is the base of every structure of sulfur. Okay? Not always, but more often than not. So over here, how many SO bonds do we have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Yeah. In every S double bond O, there is an S single bond O, right? So the answer becomes option number 1. ठीक है? Karthik is saying it is peroxide disulfuric acid. Yes. Vishal is saying I'm not able to do inorganic. There's nothing difficult in inorganic, it's just general knowledge. Like you've solved this question. Can you please try to remember these 2 structures? This one is very simple, crown structure. This one, I told you the trick behind it. Okay. So all you need to do to study inorganic chemistry is solve as many questions as you can and try to remember the theory related to those questions. Baki ho jayega. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question, people. ये structures थे. Okay, white phosphorus on reaction with concentrated NaOH in a solution in an inert atmosphere of CO2 gives phosphine and compound X. X on acidification with HCl gives compound Y. The basicity of compound Y is. Nice question, isn't it? काफी अच्छा question है. So basically you're reacting phosphorus with NaOH. What's going on over here? Phosphorus on reaction with concentrated NaOH. Concentrated NaOH solution है, तो of course there is an environment of water. ठीक है? In the inert atmosphere of CO2, so that it doesn't react with anything else in the atmosphere. This gives you phosphine. Phosphine everyone knows is pH3, okay? The name for pH3 is phosphine. There is something else that you get. What is that thing? ये एक और चीज मिलती है that you get. Now this is again in the properties of phosphorus. This is in the properties of preparation of oxy acids of phosphorus. Okay? तो यहाँ से आपको मिल जाएगा. Just let me take a black pen. H2PO2 negative. Okay, you will get H2PO2 negative. Of course, since you're taking NaOH, this negative charge will be balanced by a sodium ion. ठीक है. So NaH2PO2, of course, when you combine it with HCl, yeah, that's the second thing that you're doing, right? This is your compound X, and when you put HCl into it, what you will get is H3PO2. Now you have to figure out what is the basicity of H3PO2. Very nice question, yeah. H3PO2 की basicity क्या है? Phosphorus, double bond OH, single bond with hydrogen, single bond with hydrogen. H3PO2, only one acidic hydrogen over here. H3PO4 is tribasic, H3PO3 is dibasic, H3PO2 is monobasic. Okay, please remember this structure. H3PO2, only one acidic hydrogen. These hydrogens are not acidic. Hydrogen and phosphorus, the electronegativity is very similar. This is a very simple bond, okay? The electrons are very equally distributed throughout this bond. Over here, oxygen and hydrogen is partially positive in character. It can easily leave as H positive. This is the acidic hydrogen. Basicity of the compound is 1. Okay? तो ये याद रख लेना जरा. Alright, H3PO3, H3PO4, ये सब याद रख लेना. So you have H3PO4, ठीक है. These are the structures. You have H3PO4, then you have H3PO3, and the one that we made, that was H3PO2. Tribasic, dibasic, monobasic. Basicity means the number of OH negatives it wants to react with. Tribasic, dibasic, monobasic. H3PO4, H3PO3, H3PO2. Valency factor 3, valency factor 2, valency factor 1. Equivalent factor बोलते हैं जिस चीज को. Okay. C-mising is for NEET as well. Absolutely it is. The syllabus of chemistry for JEE and NEET is absolutely the same. ठीक है जी. चलो, nice question. I liked it. Same stuff. Simple question, people. Let's solve this. फटाफट से बताओ यार answer. I am not going to spend more time on it. Okay. That's a very simple question. Doesn't deserve a lot of time. Arrange the following bonds according to their average bond energies. More strength of the bond, more is the bond energy. Yeah, bond energy is the amount of energy required to break a bond. Simple question, yeah. Small bonds better with small, large bonds better with large. Carbon is similar in size to what? You can figure that out. Yeah. बताओ फटाफट से. Yeah. Pretty simple question. The answer is option number 3. Nothing difficult over here. Carbon and fluorine's bond is the strongest, then carbon chlorine, then carbon bromine, then carbon iodine. Please remember, this is something that we study time and again in organic chemistry as well. भाड़ में जाए अगला क्वेश्चन. X melts at low temperatures. Very nice. And is a bad conductor of electricity in both liquid and solid state. What is X? That's the important point over here. Simple question. फटाफट से बताओ क्या होना चाहिए. Mercury is a metal. Of course, it is a good conductor of electricity. Zinc sulfide. This is an ionic compound. When you turn it into liquid, it will be zinc positive and S negative. Yeah, zinc 2 positive, S2 negative. Ionic compounds have mobile ions when in liquid form or in aqueous form. So in liquid, this will conduct electricity. Forget about it. Silicon carbide is a semiconductor, people. Okay. Sorry. Silicon carbide is a semiconductor. Of course, it conducts electricity. That's why it's a semiconductor. Yeah. Carbon tetrachloride, CCl4. Very beautiful inorganic molecule. Covalent molecule, tetrahedral structure. Okay. This is a covalent solid, also known as a molecular solid. Okay. Covalent molecule, you no matter what you do with it, it won't conduct electricity. Option 1 is the correct answer. Nice question. Again, previous year JEE Main. Chalo. People, can you do it yourself? चलो, तो ये आपका हो गया homework question. Please answer in the comment section down below. Alright? Please answer this in the comment section down below. So the thing is, once again, let me tell you how to study in organic chemistry. You solve as many questions as you can. More questions you solve, more theory you're able to revise. Don't start studying theory all the time. You're not supposed to read theory in the examination. You're supposed to solve questions. More questions you solve, the better you'll get at it. Solve as many questions as you can. If you don't know the answer of any question of inorganic chemistry, try to look for its solution. Try to search about the compounds online. That will make you an expert at inorganic. Okay? Fine? Chalo. Nitin Singh, small, big, not for solubility. Okay, not for solubility. Please never use that small bed with small, large with large for solubility. Use it for thermal stability or bond energy. Basically, use it for bond energy. Okay, not for solubility. Solubility has other things as well: hydration, enthalpy, lattice energy, breaking, etc., etc. Don't use that logic for solubility, please. Okay. Okay, just a second. Our friend is asking us to explain one of these questions briefly. एक सेकंड, कहाँ चला गया? Which one was that question? रुको दोस्तों. Not this one. Yeah, this question, right? Over here, you're asking it. Which case hybridization changes? What is the doubt over here? Can you tell me? Narayan is asking what is anti-knocking agent. It's something that's used in petrol. There's a whole ball game of octane number, etc., etc. Try to study about octane number, high octane fuels. I think you'll be able to understand. Let me take some other doubts, and then we'll come to that. Acha, we have to calculate the oxygen. ठीक है, okay, fine. The oxidation number of nitrogen in solid C is blue solid N2O3 है ना, तो यहाँ पे you have to figure out the oxidation number of nitrogen. Can you do that? +3 आ जाएगा ना. Oxygen will have 2 negative. 3 into 2, 6 divided by 2, that is 3. That's all. That's all you have to do. Okay. Sorry, I missed that part. I just did the reactions for you. But yeah. Okay. Oxidation state will be +3 over here. Cool. N2O3 में oxidation state will be +3. Oxygen has -2. Done? Chalo. Thanks for reminding me to do that. Anyway, this is your homework question. Nice. Kal its coordination complexes, Sharath. Okay, Satvik has given what is Fenton's reagent. Whoever was asking can read Satvik's comment. What should I do further to prepare a KVPY? I have done past 10 years papers. Start solving JEE Main's problems, man. Okay, KVPY is just an examination which asks you questions. Solve questions. That's the best way. Shashank, mercury conducts electricity, bro. Mercury is a metal. Mock test sessions Yojana. After the hybrid sprint is over, we'll take a few of them. Don't worry. Ayushi full syllabus will be followed in 2022. Surya, that is something that you have to find out. Okay, acidic oxide is when you dissolve it in water, it gives you an acidic solution. Basic oxide, when you dissolve it in water, gives you a basic solution. Amphoteric oxide gives you a kind of solution that reacts both with acids and bases. Okay. Tushar is asking what is Bent's rule. Don't worry about Bent's rule, okay? It's not important for your examination. Talks a little bit about hybridization. You can check it out online. It's an elaborate jazz about, hybridization and shape and the relationship, etc., etc. Fine. Is NCERT enough for pre-block? Yes, Akshay, it is enough for pre-block. Read it once and then solve as many questions as possible, because the information in NCERT is hidden in such nooks and crannies that only if you solve questions you'll be able to remember those ideas. Okay. Ashish is asking, is this enough for JEE Main 2021? Definitely not. You have to solve more questions on your own. Just 1 hour of practice for one chapter is not enough. Okay. Chalo. So people, that's it from my side. Once again, reminding you that if any of you people are facing a lot of trouble in your preparation, if you want a good boost in your preparation, join Vedantu's crash course. Days are very less, and if you miss out on the opportunity of joining a proper guidance right now, then your preparation in the next few days might go even worse. Understanding? So if your preparation needs that boost, please join Vedantu's crash course. The links are in the description box down below. Otherwise, we are done with today's class. Thank you so much for joining in. If I was not able to answer your doubt in the chat box, I'm very sorry. There are so many messages that come in. So please try to ask that question in the comment section down below after the live stream is over. If you enjoyed this class, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I'm going to see you tomorrow. So please stay subscribed. Take care. Good night.